Genghis Khan had built the ultimate cavalry army, fast, ruthless, and loyal, but now they faced their first true enemy, one that stood still. To the south lay the rich ancient civilizations of China, specifically the Western Jin dynasty. These empires did not rely on swift horses and open-field tactics. They relied on massive fortified cities and intricate engineering, the antithesis of steppe warfare. The world believed these walls were insurmountable. The Mongols were about to be forced to adapt or perish. The Western Shah, a kingdom founded by the Tangut people, was Genghis Khan's initial proving ground. It was strategically located along the vital Silk Road trade routes and served as a buffer state. The first campaign in 1205 was a reconnaissance raid for tribute, but the second in 1209 AD was a full-scale test of conquest. The initial battles were quick, with the mobile Mongol armies easily defeating the Tangut forces in the field. But the real challenge arose at the gates of the capital, Yinchuan, a massive, well-supplied city defended by high walls and moats. The Mongol army, composed almost entirely of horse archers, had no siege engines, no engineers, and no experience with fixed fortifications. They had no choice but to lay siege, hoping to starve the city out, a tactic that took time, consumed supplies, and tied down their highly mobile forces. After months of stalemate, Genghis Khan took a desperate, improvised measure. He ordered his men to breach the walls by diverting the nearby Yellow River. The initial outcome was disastrous. The improvised dams failed, flooding the Mongol camp instead of the city. This setback, however, proved a critical lesson. Improvisation alone would not conquer China. The Western Shia eventually surrendered, paying a massive tribute in camels, horses, falcons, and gold, but they retained their sovereignty. Crucially, they were required to supply Mongol forces with troops, becoming a vassal state and a supplier of essential Chinese expertise. The Jin dynasty Jurchen controlled northern China and was the true regional power, boasting a population and army several times the size of the Mongols. In 1211, Genghis Khan declared war, citing past insults and a belief in his destiny. He launched his invasion with approximately 150,000 troops, primarily cavalry. The early victories were legendary and demonstrated the pure shock power of the Mongol machine. The Battle of Yehuing 1211, or Fox's Mouth Ridge, saw Genghis Khan strategically use the mountainous terrain to neutralize the Jin army's numerical superiority. The Mongols attacked the main body of the Jin army while they were bottlenecked, utilizing their superior organization and discipline. The ensuing slaughter effectively destroyed the main field army of the Jin dynasty, a catastrophic loss from which they would never fully recover. After sweeping away the Jin field forces, the Mongols again encountered the problem of walls. They had to choose between endless blockades or finding a way to master the art of the siege. This necessity spurred a rapid, forced military innovation.
Genghis Khan began incorporating captured Khitan and Jin engineers and artillery specialists known as Hui Pao.
These experts, often serving out of fear or due to ethnic resentment against the Jurchen rulers, provided the Mongols with the knowledge to build and operate massive siege weapons, trebuchets, ballistas, and scaling ladders. The Mongols adapted their logistics to accommodate the new technology, creating specialized engineering units and using their mobility to transport disassembled siege equipment great distances.
This was the moment the Mongol army transitioned from a pure cavalry force to a hybrid army of horsemen and artillery masters.
In 1213, Genghis Khan bypassed the heavily fortified capital of Zhongdu, modern Beijing, initially isolating it while his forces ravaged the rest of North China. In 1214, he placed the city under siege. The siege was not won by assault, but by attrition and psychological warfare. The city, holding a population in the hundreds of thousands, quickly ran out of food. Eyewitness accounts report the desperate citizens resorting to cannibalism. When Zhongdu finally fell in 1215, Genghis Khan ordered the city to be looted and burned, a devastating act that served as a loud, terrifying message to all settled kingdoms. Resistance is futile and results in obliteration. He left a small garrison force under the command of Mukhali, one of his most trusted generals, to manage the conquered territory and continue the slow, patient process of absorbing the remaining Jin strongholds. The Chinese wars served their purpose. The Mongols had proven they could fight and conquer a vast, highly sophisticated, settled empire. They had solved the problem of the walls by adopting the siege engines of their enemies. The machine was now fully operational, but this massive operation in the east was only the prelude. To the west lay the immense, wealthy and proud Khwarezmian Empire, whose Shah was about to make the fatal mistake of underestimating the universal ruler, a mistake that would cost his entire civilization.